But we begin tonight with the city in mourning, and it's men and women in blue grieving for Officer Rasheed McClain.
The 46-year-old Detroit cop killed in the line of duty last night. His partner, Philippe Batum BC, is recovering from a gunshot wound. The officers entered a home near Wyoming and Chippewa, and the suspect opened fire. Tonight, the Detroit Police Department posting this picture of their brother in blue, calling him a natural leader and a hero. 7 Action News reporter Rudy Harper is at the 12th Precinct tonight, where those who worked alongside Officer McClain are trying to cope with this major loss. Rudy?
And Carolyn, David, entire community mourning tonight. A woman nearly in tears walked past her Action News live truck with a bag of small cookies and tissues, a small gesture to support these men and women in blue here at the 12th Precinct. I spoke to a retired police captain. He was on the force when multiple officers were killed in the line of duty. He says this is one of the toughest hours for those behind the badge.
We're trained to go in, not retreat. That's what you're trained to do.
That's what 4 Detroit police officers did last night around 7:20 after a gunman invaded this home near Wyoming and Chippewa.
My grandson's on the job now, and my heart sank.
Retired Detroit Assistant Chief Steve Dolant says a group of officers knew going in they may never come out alive. And the most terrifying moment is when those shots rang out from a high-powered rifle.
You think, is this it? What am I going to say to my, am I going to see my family again?
Chief Craig says multiple people frantically ran from the home when officers arrived. He also says officers knew the man inside was suspected of shooting up the home 2 weeks ago in a dispute with a girlfriend after a relative would not let him inside. Chief Craig says Officer Rasheed McClain, a 16-year vet, led the group into the home, searching the upper levels with a flashlight, then came face to face with the gunman in the basement.
The suspect came out from the left. He fired quickly twice.
We have 2 officers shot there at that location.
Officer McClain was shot in the neck and died at Sinai Grace Hospital. His partner, Philippe Batum BC, who's been with the department for 2.5 years, was shot in the ankle and is expected to be okay. Dolan says officers now have the grueling task of dealing with the trauma.
The officer that survived the shooting, the other officer that responded to the scene are going to have a tough time over the next weeks, months, years.
And that former police chief says he had the difficult task of reassuring officers that everything will be okay in moments like this. He said it was difficult because it was a promise that he couldn't keep. Funeral arrangements for that fallen officer are still pending at this time. Count on Action News to continue following developments in this story. Live outside the 12th Precinct, I'm Rudy Harper, 7 Action News.
All right, thank you, Rudy. Such a difficult time for those officers. A relative of the suspect believes he felt like his life was over. We blurred his face because he has not yet been charged, but police say Officer McClain's body cam footage from last night shows the suspect did not respond when he was asked to show his hands. He fired off 2 shots from a high-powered semi-automatic rifle before he was shot and wounded. The suspect has a criminal record and just got out of prison earlier this year.
Overall, he probably just felt like, I'm not about to go back to jail. And if I go back to jail, I might not see the light again.
And chances are he won't see the light of day again. Conviction on the charges the suspect will likely face carries a mandatory life sentence. Stay with 7 Action News on air and online at WXYZ.com for continuing coverage of this deadly police shooting and how Officer McClain is being remembered and honored by those closest to him on the force. Dave?